what we are wanting you to understand is that it's sweet feeling life in this real-time vortex. And if you will orient yourself to wanting to be there often, if you will pay attention to when you are there and when you're not there, and if you will do 100% of your creating, of your deliberate creating, 100% of your affirming, 100% of your planning from inside the vortex. Oh, things are going to turn around so quickly. People who are watching you are going to be astonished at how remarkably fast things that they know you've been wanting begin to show up in your physical experience. We just want to show you the power, just for a little while, of getting in there. The immediate relief. A woman said, Abraham, I hear you, but my body hurts me. I have arthritis. How can I feel positive emotion when I'm in physical pain? And we say, yeah, you can accept the physical pain as your current reality. And you can reach for a feeling of hope. Or you can reach for a feeling of fear. The vibrational difference between hope and fear is the difference between recovery or not, you see. You finally have to come to the place where you accept, and we know it's not hard. Jerry and Esther have been listening to us for a while. They get letters. If you guys can't get it, what chance do we have? And we say, you are vibrational beings, and the way you feel is everything. And they are having fun with it now. They are laughing now. They are understanding it now. But you have to accept that this vibrational reality is the reality, the only reality that you want to tune yourself to. And you have to accept that so completely that no matter what's happening in your physical reality doesn't get your attention. Now, we want to say to all of you, having a breakfast chronically that is not pleasing you in hotels is very light on the scope of human events in comparison with other things that could go wrong. In other words, they're not turning their bus over, they're not crashing their cars, they're not falling off cliffs, they don't have disease-ridden bodies. In other words, their lives are going very, very well. And so we know that it is not an easy thing to be living with sickness in your body and having some ghost crow about this vibrational reality that you should be turning your attention to. We get it. We get it that you've trained yourself to look at your now reality. But you got to stop it. You've got to accept now reality as the bouncing off place that it only is. It was ever only the bouncing off place, and you know that. How often have you really, really wanted something? Esther will say to Jerry, see that beautiful car? I think you should buy that for me. It will make me happy for the afternoon. And haven't you noticed that the manifestations, they don't give you much of a buzz for very long? And the reason they don't give you much of a buzz for very long is because they're not supposed to give you the buzz for very long. They are only always, every manifestation, whether it's your house, whether it's your lover, whether it's your relationships of all kind, whether it's your current business, everything that is your now reality is only the bouncing off place to who you really are. And that's where you have intended to put 100% of your attention, because that's where the whole of you is. That's where the source of you is. That's where the love of you is. That's where the true life of you is. That's who you really are. And if you can get hooked on focusing forward from your manifestational point of view, but into the now reality, it is our promise to you that your lives will feel so good to you that when people watch you walking down the street, they will see you floating in the attitude of well-being and abundance that is where the source within you resides. So we get it that arthritis and bad breakfasts are hard to take. We get it that there's stuff happening that you don't want to have happen. But we want you to stop mining it, because the vibrational frequency of the problem and the vibrational frequency of the solution are very different frequencies. You can't get there from there. But here is something that if you can take this away with you, you're going to have great fun with it over the next days and weeks. The whole time that a problem is coming into focus, an equivalent solution is coming into focus too. And you have access to either eventually. the solution has come into focus. And the larger part of you is focused only on the solution. And the way you feel is your indicator of how well you're doing in your focus. So if you will decide that you want to feel good, and you will decide that you're going to look for the things that feel the best, if you'll decide that you're going to feel your way into the vortex, feel your way in, feel your way in, feel your way in, feel your way in. Jerry and Esther have been the last couple of Decembers in Australia, and it was a little unsettling to realize that while today is Saturday in Denver, it is Sunday in Australia. What's up with that? Jerry and Esther would call their office and say, "We're living your future." And it's really good. You're going to like it when you roll around to it. But as much fun as they were having with that idea of having crossed the date line, it wasn't an accurate statement at all, because now is now, isn't it? In other words, it was still now. It is still now in Australia, just like it is now right here. And we want to say to you that it is now in the non-physical where we are, just like it is now in the physical where you are. Now is now. Now is this place. No, it's not really a place. Now is this thing. Well, it's not really a thing. Now is where there is a convergence, always a convergence of the vibrational frequency of the non-physical part of you and the physical part of you. And when that convergence occurs, your emotions tell you how the party's going. If you feel frisky, oh, what a convergence. If you feel in love, what a convergence. If you feel appreciation, really good convergence. If you're ornery, not so good. If you're fearful or doubtful, if you are depressed, not so good. If you're overwhelmed, not going that well. In other words, you've got to keep up to speed with you, or you're not living real time. And we want to convince you that this reality where we stand and where who you really are and all that you want is, in this vortex of creation, this vortex that has gathered all cooperative components of all that you've been asking for, this beingness of who you are, calling you constantly. And when you move in the direction of it, you feel the relief. And when you move in opposition to it, you feel the tension or the tug of war. And when you get into the vortex, you feel the reality, the now reality, the present tense reality. Just to really drive that point home to you in a way that you will never forget it, we want to say to you that this reality that you're calling reality, because it's manifested and others can sort of kind of see it. You don't share realities, really. If you ever watch two eyewitness reports on the same event, you realize how different the realities are that you are experiencing, because you have very different points of view, even as you share similar circumstances. But this reality that you call reality, this knock on wood, manifested reality, what I'm having for breakfast reality, what money's in my bank account reality, what the doctors say my body is doing reality, that physical reality is old news. It's old news. It's past tense. Really it is. But you can't feel that. You can't know that unless you are feeling for the now reality. Now, there's always been a lag behind, a lag time of manifestation. That's a sort of buffer of time. And that's a good thing, because if you had instant manifestations, you'd be cleaning up a lot more messes than you are. If you've been doing that, if you've been observing your physical environment and you are pushing against unwanted things, then you have a frequency going on in your physical body that does not match the frequency of that of your source. And that means you've introduced, through your conscious awareness, resistance to the mix of vibration between you and you. And when you do that, your emotions give you feedback that help you to know that. That's what fear is. Fear is a really strong indicator that you've really got a resistant thought going on that is not meshing with the non-resistant thought of the source within you. When you feel love, you're in alignment, no resistance. When you feel hate, way out of alignment. When you feel sure, you're in alignment. When you feel tentative or unsure, out of alignment. When you're confused, not in alignment. When you're clear-minded, in alignment. In other words, you can tell by the emotion that you are feeling how in sync or not you are in the moment of the emotion. What happens with a lot of our physical human friends is that you become accustomed to the feelings of misalignment, to the feelings of resistance. It just becomes normal to be overwhelmed, or normal to feel ornery, or normal to feel unworthy. And so, or even normal to feel fearful or worried about things. So as you allow yourself to practice those thoughts until they feel normal, what happens to you is you begin to ignore this magnificent guidance system that is there for you to help you to tune your frequencies into alignment with who you really are. But it's more important than just tuning up with that which is source. It's tuning up with all that you have become. That's the most important thing that we want to help you to understand here today. We want you to really leave here understanding that we've been having fun with our friends. Here are some manifestation cards. These are money and the law of attraction. They are magnificent. Brilliant, brilliant. We wrote them. Infinite intelligence approach to your financial prosperity. It doesn't get any better than this. The artist who painted them also in the vortex. Tuned in, tapped in, turned on. No more powerful information ever than on these cards. So here you are. Went to the mailbox, don't have enough money, great big bills, don't know how it's going to come, getting laid off, things not going well, not enough money. So you buy these magic cards. And from outside the vortex, you read, I am always receiving the essence of what I am giving. That sucks. My career is one of creating a joyful life experience. Tell that to my debtors. Oh, this is sweet. We are each responsible for the thoughts we think. Who writes this stuff? I can follow the trail of good feeling thoughts. In my appreciation, I allow myself to receive wonderful things. Are these money back guarantee? Oh, this one. I can create both money and the time to enjoy it. Right. So these magic cards don't go so well, do they? You explore all of that variety, knowing what you don't want, which helps you to know what you do want. You are offering these improved requests, these askings for improved experience. When someone's rude to you, you want them to be nicer. When the oil is spewing into the ocean in the Gulf, you want it to return to its natural state of biological balance. In other words, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, whether you say it out loud or not. So we want you to understand that all day, every day, you and every consciousness, which includes all the cells in your body, it includes all one cell's organisms, it includes everything that exists in physical form, because everything is consciousness. Every particle of consciousness is having a personal experience where, from its personal perspective, it is exploring and asking for improvement. That's what the evolution of all species is about. So when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, whether you put words to it or not. And here's the part that we so want you to embrace and understand. When that rocket emanates from you, that asking, the source within you, that non-physical part of you, immediately becomes the vibrational equivalent of that new request. So you just keep asking and evolving, asking and evolving. Now, this is the part that most humans don't remember, but it's the part that when you do remember, everything starts clicking quickly into place for you. Because you are constantly expanding this vibrational part of you, that means there is constant emotional feedback letting you know whether you in your physical human form are keeping up with the expansion or not. If you are sick in your physical body and you ask to be well, and you do, you ask it more when you are sick than at any other time, the non-physical part of you becomes more well than ever before, and particularly pointed to the specific asking for the specific recovery from the specific illness that you are specifically living. In other words, when you live something, you ask more specifically for the improvement, and the source within you becomes it. It's a wonderful thing when you begin to feel consciously and exercise deliberately the power of your alignment with who you are. It is such a wonderful thing to be an in the vortex mentor, an in the vortex parent, an in the vortex grandparent, an in the vortex